Our first performance of the night is going to come from Benedict Hodge, solo guitarist, who's going to play a quick guitar etude for us. You have to excuse my omission. I omitted 2 solos, and that's because they just found out that they were playing solos last week. The first solo that you heard was by Johnny Herrera on tenor sax, followed by freshman James Tolbert also on tenor sax. That again was the Douglas County High School Jazz Band playing Malaguena, featuring Peyton Banks on tenor sax. The students on stage before you is the combined concert bands for Douglas County High School. Our final piece for the evening is entitled Choose Joy. I explained to the students yesterday that there are myriad things that can go wrong in the course of a day. There's a ton of things that can go not quite the way that you want it to. I told them yesterday that I enjoy watching people around like January 1st, because that's when everybody makes these big plans, right? I'm gonna lose 100 pounds. I'm going to start my own business, I'm going to do X, I'm going to do Y, and I might do Z. And then sometime around like February, March-ish, we start to realize that things happen that got in the way of what it was we said we were going to do. And it's extremely easy to get bogged down by all of the things that don't go the way we intended to. It's extremely easy to get caught up in the why me. It's extremely to get caught up in the what happened. It's extremely to get caught up in this is not the way things should go. And so I told them that life is 80%, life is about 20% what happens to you. The other 80% is how you react to it. And so in any situation, we have the option and the ability to make choices. And one of those choices, one of our options in those choices is to choose how we're going to react to something. So when something goes wrong, something goes unmitigatedly incorrect, we can either choose to wallow in our self-pity, or we can choose to find the joy in the small things. We can choose to find the joy in the successes that we met along the way while we were looking at the things that went wrong. And so I think the composer of this piece, Randall Standridge, I think he did an extremely good job of encapsulating into this music what it means to choose joy every day. Because there is a difference in waiting for joy to happen to you and choosing to remain joyful despite what goes on. So this final piece, I hope that it draws something up in you to remember to, whatever happens, to choose joy in spite of the things that may tell you otherwise. That makes sense? Yes. So we're going to close tonight with Choose Joy by Randall Standridge. That was Choose Joy by Randall Standridge. Before we close, I want to make sure that I thank first, and the students tell me I do the same speech every year. I want to take the time to first thank the most important people in the room that are not on the stage. And the most important people in the room that are not on the stage, I have to take the time to thank each and every parent in the room. Each and every parent. Every parent-like figure, every parent-adjacent person, grandmother, guardian, auntie, uncle, because you guys are the people who these students lean on in order to continue not only their education here in Douglas County, but their music education. I demand a lot from your students, which ultimately means that I'm demanding a lot from you, and I want to thank you guys, parents, parent-adjacent figures. I want to thank you guys for answering the call every time. These students are better because of it, and it shows. Secondarily, I want to take the time to thank our band boosters. The band boosters are the ones that are volunteering and, yes, blowing up your emails and your phones and your texts, because it takes a lot to keep this organization going. And without our band boosters, this organization would not be able to do a tenth of the things that we are blessed to be able to do with our talents. And so again, I want to thank the band booster volunteers for taking the time, the extraordinarily, I don't want to use the word excessive because that's a negative connotation, but the extraordinary amount of extra time that it takes to continue keeping this organization running. Thirdly, I want to thank the administration here at Douglas County High School for allowing us to operate in the way that we do. There's a lot of red tape that I don't have to jump through because our admin are adamant about making sure that our students have what they need. And that is more support than I think even they realize. Finally, there are two groups of people that I have to thank. I have to thank these students. These students, because like I said earlier, I demand a lot from them, and even when I'm trying to kick them out of the band room so I can go home, they're still here doing what it takes to make this program better each and every time we step out and each and every time we perform. Because we not only represent Douglas County High School, we represent the city of Douglasville, we represent the county of Douglas County, and most importantly, they represent me. And they represent you guys. And so we always make sure that our students put their best foot forward, and they have not disappointed me yet. Finally, I'm going to have to thank my wife and my children for being okay. And they're actually up in the press box with Mr. Jux, who's my assistant director here. They're actually up in the press box and they're listening. But I have to thank them publicly because I spend a lot of time here. I spend a tremendous amount of time here pouring into our students here. And when I get home, even though they're already asleep or my wife is still at work, because she sets her schedule to mine, or my wife is still at work, when it's time for me to get sleep, they allow me to get sleep. And they recognize that I'm sacrificing some of my time with them to be here. And I also want to especially thank my wife because when she sees me getting overworked, she tells me to put the phone down, get off the computer, stop writing music, stop writing drill, and go do something that's not music related. And that makes me a better teacher for your students. So again, I want to thank my wife and my children.